All right. Welcome, everybody, to I think our first one of 2026, our first Ask 4-H about, specifically about iLEAD tonight. My name is Derby Sale, and I'm excited to be here tonight with the three others that you see on screen in front of you. I'll let each of them introduce themselves. We'll start with Ariel.
My name is Ariel Pierce. I am the Lee County 4-H agent, and I am one of the chairs for iLEAD. So I'm glad to be here and hope to see everybody at the actual event.
Go for it, Emma.
Oh, okay. My name is Emma Wickham. I am the State Council Secretary and one of the co-chairs for iLEAD.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Spencer Hewitt. I'm a 4-H agent in Nassau County, and I'm also one of the adult chairs for iLEAD.
Awesome. And I will go ahead and say this up front if somebody's looking at Emma's camera and being like, do they got her driving on this camera right now? No, it's not about your
I
looks,
am
Emma. I ain't calling you.
stationary.
I am not calling out your looks. I am calling just I want everybody to know. No, she is not driving right now. She is in a stationary position. We would not do that. But we appreciate she's pulling double duty as her work started to get busy. She was like, bye guys. I have a I have a 4-H thing I gotta get to.
Assumed to go to.
Yeah. Work
Love it.
skills in action.
Now for
Uh,
my real job.
yeah. Um, so we'll get into logistics and we can talk all the things about iLEAD. But I will go and preface this that if you haven't joined us for an Ask 4-H about, the idea with these is to make you all comfortable with registering for iLEAD. I know there's a lot that can go into that decision of sending any of your kids away, but especially potentially for the first time to the University of Florida campus, all those things. So it's really just we want to give you more information. Like we have a web page, but if we can put face and voice to the experience as best as possible without you actually being there yet, we want to be able to do that to make you comfortable. And so we'll start off and asking everybody on the call, curious, what's one part of iLEAD that you personally look forward to every year?
I know. I love seeing all of the intermediates, which I know that is a very particular love to have, but I love seeing all of my intermediates. It's been really fun too to see youth year after year and meet new youth. And the best part, which I think we'll talk about a little bit later, is even getting to see my intermediate youth grow up into seniors and then be
Mm.
on the committee with us. So it's been really fun to watch everything come full circle as far as leadership goes and the event. And yeah, I just love getting to work with our intermediates.
We might have one of our first that started one of the first couple years actually graduating out this year from executive board.
I know. It's kind of
So
sad.
that's kind of sad but cool.
Yeah.
Spencer, Emma.
I'll go next. So, something that I look forward to seeing is my spark is leadership and facilitation, all things of those sorts. So I really like seeing intermediates get the opportunity to engage with our executive board members and do team building activities and really learn what the core of leadership means to them. So that's my favorite part is watching those kids do those activities.
When it's cool to start seeing at that young of an age, their brains start to work in that kind of way of like,
Mhm.
oh, I actually could do this and actually see myself in this kind of role. So yeah, go for it, Emma.
My favorite thing, especially last year when I was on the committee, was watching the kids come in and be super nervous
Mm.
and like kind of not really sure where they were gonna fit in. And then immediately by the last day, they all had their little friend groups. Everybody was laughing, like yelling, having the best time ever, all making sure they got all their friends' phone numbers. So I think it was really just really fun for me to see those kids who came in completely in their shells, completely get out of their shells by the end of it.
Mm. That 4-H phenomenon. They come in like in that nerve, like, but then it's like it's that coming in and not even sure if they want to be there, and then when they're leaving, they're like, "But I don't want to leave." And the fact that
Yeah.
that can happen within, I mean, essentially 2 days of an event, if you take like 2 half days and a full day, like that's pretty cool. So yeah, and so with us being on Facebook Live, if you were with us, joining us live, feel free to throw in there if you've been to iLEAD. What's something that you're looking forward to about iLEAD every year? or even if you've never been, if that's something you're looking forward to. This is also Ask 4-H About. So we come on here with some questions just to keep us rolling. But if you have anything, feel free to throw that into the Facebook chat as well, and we'll keep an eye out there and take those questions live as we go. Um, so we'll go next to Spencer. And so for someone wondering whether there's something at iLEAD that's for them, because again, we don't have a schedule that's out there. We can put out previous schedules, but that's always tweaked a little bit. So if somebody's like, man, is this actually something that's for me? Something that fits their interest. What kind of things are, and especially workshops, are offered at iLEAD?
So my opinion when it comes to iLEAD, intermediate aged youth are often either coming to iLEAD with specific project areas that they're already interested in, or they're discovering 4-H for the first time at their first state event. So that being said, we try really hard workshop wise to find presenters that are going to give us a variety of topics that connect youth back to 4-H and back to the university for them to have future careers. That being said, specific topic wise, you're going to have something that's related to animal science, arts and crafts, maybe some marine biology, leadership, of course, but we're always putting together different workshops that tailor those interests that youth are potentially having right now, or hopefully the career that they want to have in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. And we usually, so we'll get to this a little bit later, but registration is open right now for iLEAD. We won't have the workshops probably until after registration closes, but what we can do is we can put up what we've had in previous years to kind of give you an idea. We won't have those specifics until closer to, but we definitely understand you wanting to figure out if there's value to it for you and for your kids. So one of the things that I know, like with middle school youth especially, it can be hard to look at iLEAD sometimes and see that leadership because it is embedded into a lot of what we do. And somebody could look at it and be like, where in the world are you teaching leadership? Like, why is this called iLEAD, the Intermediate Leadership Conference? And so I'm curious, when with y'all's experiences, each of you, where have you been most surprised to see leadership showing up at iLEAD or even potentially after iLEAD?
For me in my county, I would say there's a connection between the two. I get a lot of youth that are not interested or not sure if they're interested in leadership opportunities. So taking them to iLEAD kind of pushes them in that direction to figure out if they want to pursue their 4-H career specific to leadership. So a lot of the time I see them start blossoming when they're at that event. They get really engaged with those friends we talked about, making those connections and doing those activities that they often want to come back to their county and do something bigger. For me, a lot of that I see in my own county is my older intermediates join my leadership council, and they're using those public speaking skills and those connection skills that they gained at iLEAD to come back and do events with myself and do things within the county in that aspect.
I would say for me, I see most of the leadership happening when we're in our own, what's it called? Not like the workshop part, but like the fun shops, or like when we're
Color
all
groups?
as, yeah, when we were with our color groups, because those were more led by the committee members and then the youth them or the intermediates themselves. So we got to see a lot of those people start stepping up into their positions. My personal favorite was when we were making our skits. So my color group, my committee for the color group, we just decided we wanted to let them do it. We were like, this is how they're gonna learn, so we'll just throw them in the midst, and if they need help, we'll help. And we definitely saw all of them start learning how to be leaders and which role they play in like a leadership team. So that was just really interesting to see, and that's where I saw leadership happening the most.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I could pinpoint like a surprise factor on any sort of leadership moment, but I think one of the coolest things is being able to watch it in like the big picture and the small picture, the hard skills and the soft skills. So, they're doing these educational components that help teach them the hard skills for leadership. But there's also those small moments that happen throughout the weekend or event where, you'll watch an interaction and it'll be that small movement or that traction that helps them gain confidence in their leadership skills.
Mm.
Or it'll be that encouragement that happens within a group where somebody who's not traditionally a public speaker gets up and starts public speaking. And watching those slow, small growth moments happen is one of the funnest parts of my job. I love it. And just being able to like watch kids learn how to flourish and like learn
Mm.
that it's okay to be nervous in it and it's okay to be learning new skills. It's okay to be doing all these different things, but we're here and we have your back and we're ready to help hone all these skills and help train you in how to do it. Um, I think that's one of the coolest things. And like I said, it's not necessarily a surprise by any means. I don't think there was a moment where I'm like, oh, surprise, this happened. But that being said, I think that's one of those really cool moments where maybe you kind of overlook it and you take it for granted that there's that growth that's happening. And that in its
Mm.
sense is the surprise where you kind of look at the big picture after the fact and you're like, wow, that was 1,000 tiny moments of growth that all
Mm.
equaled this one large moment. And it was so cool. So yeah, that's mine.
Well, and I like how you say the small moments too, because
Hmm.
even when we're staying in the dorms, and even
Yep.
even a kid being able to say, my preference is showering in the morning, and I need to let my roommate know that so that I can do that, and then I need to set it up so that I can actually get up and do that. Like that's huge. I mean, just knowing your own
100%.
preferences in that space.
Yes.
And being able to speak to that and not just be
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, I'm willing to do whatever
Yep.
to keep my roommate happy or whatever. Um, and that serves as a decent segue to just the idea that sleeping in the dorms and sleeping in new
Mhm.
places and especially sleeping on campus, like there's a
Yes.
lot that could potentially be floating through people's heads of just like what does that look like? And especially I want a comfortable place to sleep after I've done all the
Hmm.
things for the day. I'm peopled out and I just want to crash. So for the families and the youth, Ariel, like talk to us a little bit about like what living on campus looks like and where we're at with the dorms.
Absolutely. So we won't know our dorm selection until we get a little bit closer, but I will say I love the dorm concept and it's done safely. Yes, fingers crossed we get a good one. So we're usually pretty lucky and we get a phenomenal dorm on UF campus. It's usually within walking distance of a lot of the items that we need. But that being said, the dorm situation is typically set up one of two ways. So traditionally, the bedrooms are set up with two beds. So the youth will have another member of the same gender that'll be in their room. They can make room requests if they would like. So please pay attention to that on the registration. If that's something that they want, they need to request that early on. But that being said, the room situation is phenomenal. It teaches independence with structure. So we're still there to help and make sure everything's going safely. But they have that opportunity to really start to experience and embrace that next step of independence. So typically, the bathroom scenario will be one of two ways. There'll either be a shared bathroom for two rooms, and there will be a bathroom in the middle, or there will be a hall bathroom. And like Darby alluded to earlier, that'll help teach some of those life skills as far as planning, time management, making sure that communication is happening, maybe even some initiative as far as responsibility and teamwork, as far as setting out a schedule within the schedule that we set, just to make sure that everybody is cohesively working together and doing everything that they need. As far as the dorms go, they are quite um, nice in the sense that they are typically down a hallway. So we usually have all of one gender on one floor, all of another gender on another floor, and depending on the setup. And what will happen is we will have our night watch there who will help assist at the nighttime hours to keep everybody safe. And then we'll also have our screened level 2 clearance volunteers that will also be on site to help make sure that our youth stay safe. And they will be close in proximity to all of our youth within the dorms as well. So we really do take safety quite seriously. And as far as the dorm scenario goes, it's a really good glimpse too into, hey, am I excited for college living? Like this is a glimpse for them for their future as far as am I going to like a random roommate? Am I going to enjoy this experience? And it's kind of that first soft launch of their college experience in a very calm way. So I always laugh that kids come back and they go, "Oh man, that was way better than I thought it would be." And I always have to ask them, "Well, what did you think it would be?" And it's really fun to hear their answers and see kind of what their expectations were as far as a experience staying in the dorms would be. But there's a great packing list online. So if you go onto the iLEAD website within the Florida 4-H website, there is a suggested packing list. I do recommend a couple of things, such as an extra warm blanket just in case the AC is cold, shower shoes, things of that nature that might be beneficial to the youth. So hop on and do check out that packing list. It'll also get sent out before you come to the event. So if you do have any questions on the dorms and or that experience, please feel free to reach out. It's a phenomenal experience for our youth to be able to experience that aspect of it, because many of them, their first experience sleeping away is typically at our camp. So this is kind of that next step.
Mm-hmm. I saw you had something, Emma. I don't know if you still have something.
I just wanted to say that um a lot of times people get really connected to when they share the dorms. Like I'm still really close with my iLEAD roommate, both of them. I was lucky enough to have a room with 3 people in it, so we had the corner room, which was extra spacious, and we're all still super close. I still talk to them on occasion, so.
Look,
I
don't be
love
telling people
that.
that. We're gonna start getting that in the roommate request.
I
I want
know.
the
Can we have
spacious
a corner
corner
room?
room that Emma was talking
I did
about.
not have the spacious corner room. It was cramped,
No, I
dark,
appreciate that.
scary, no window.
Yeah, and I will point out too with the roommate requests, we try our best to honor them. But at the
Hmm.
same time, it's a moving puzzle with a whole bunch of
Yes.
people. So your best bet is one if you both request each other. Um, that
Hmm.
is that is as close to guaranteed as you can get. But usually if it's like one half, then it starts to get weird. So just a note on roommate requests because I know it like Ariel was saying, it is nice to
Yeah.
sometimes if you know somebody to come with somebody and have that comfort. You can also be open like Emma was and still
Hmm.
be friends with your iLead roommates. So yeah. Um, so Spencer, Ariel hit on it a little bit with as far as like the dorms and having night watch and having um level 2 screened adults in the dorms, but I'm curious as a whole, like, so even outside of the dorms, if somebody is wondering, like, all right, so I'm gonna drop my kids off on campus, who's taking care of my kids? Who do we have at iLead to support and look after everyone?
So I would say there's a couple of layers there. Of course, you're going to see the three of us, the adults that are going to be walking around and supporting your youth, but you're also going to see some adult volunteers, those level tours that we talked about, or other extension agents that are going to be at the event. Um, those select adults will be assigned to different times throughout the event to be at certain posts to make sure that there's adult supervision within those workshops when youth are moving from place to place. So there's always going to be an adult that has eyes on your child. I would also like to point out that the youth are primarily in color groups throughout the week. So having a peer-to-peer mentor with them because they will have an executive board member with them for portions of the event of an older youth that's leading them from the next place to the next place. But there's quite a bit of supervision on those youth in that aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a piece of that too is like any time where there's big movement. So, for those that have potentially been with us for a while, we are at least scheduled right now to be back in the rights union. So let's say when we're going from the rights union on campus and we're going over to the dorm, there's usually roll taken at the rights union, and then there's roll taken when we get back to the dorm. And then obviously we stay together during that transition and during workshops and things like that. So there's plenty of touch points to make sure that everywhere, and it becomes a lovely spreadsheet when I start thinking about,
Hmm.
all right, I need this adult by this elevator, and I need it's a fun little
Yes.
thing to make sure all all exits are covered.
And I would say Derby too. I don't even want to say at a base layer because it's a very important layer, but there's also the university police system that's in place
Absolutely.
too. So, like, there's the safety component that is provided by the university as a general whole as well. And that's always just like a friendly, warm blanket, if you will. Like, it's,
Oh yeah.
it's one of those comfort items where you're like, okay, on the big picture, we have others that are, that have got our back. So there's a whole system in place that, at a very large scale, there's lots of campus safety components as well.
Absolutely. So we've talked a lot again, logistics, and we still might get to some. But one of the components is Spencer had mentioned the executive board youth and those older youth. And so they've been working hard. We've already gotten 2 weekends under our belt of retreats to plan and be a part of making this event happen. And Emma, as a state officer, is one of our chairs, along with Music Williams from Palm Beach County. And so I'm curious, Emma, what are some like behind the scenes things happening where you're just really excited to actually be like, okay, cool, I can finally tell people that this is what's happening and I want to do this with people.
So last executive board, we were actually starting to practice the different games we would be facilitating. So that was really fun to me because all of the not only will it be fun for the kids at iLEAD, but it was also a lot of fun for us just to be able to know each other better and connect that way. So I know that we were having a lot of fun with it. So I know they're gonna have a lot of fun with it when they get there, all the intermediates. So I'm really just excited to see that come alive. But I'm also really excited to see what ideas we come up with for our fun shops because I know last year there was some really interesting ones like watermelon seed spitting that came about, which may or may not have been one I was included in. So I'm really excited to see those come back along, and see our executive board committee members step up to the plate and find even more creative and fun ways to include those intermediates in our fun that
And
we
that's
haven't
probably one of my
used.
favorite things because not in a million years, if I'm ever planning something at 35 years old, would I have probably ever come up with watermelon seed spitting.
Shout out Kimberly Tanner,
Yes.
because that was all
Hamilton
her.
County, yep.
It was a serious competition too. I'm gonna just
Thanks,
let
Anthony
everybody
won.
know that I walked out there and they're like, Miss Ariel, you gotta spit the seed. I'm like, yeah, I gotta do what? I was not prepared for the level of hustle that was happening out there.
Anthony won that one. Anthony Barrios. I know he has a talent.
um so again, I know there's a lot that to think about when thinking about coming to this event and signing up. And so for anyone, and this is for the youth specifically, Emma. So for any youth that are potentially sitting there a little bit nervous, or if there's a parent watching right now and they're going to go back and say like, "Hey, there's might be this cool thing you want to go to," what would you go back and tell your first day self? You were talking about attending iLEAD even yourself. So like, what would you go back and tell first day Emma?
So, what I told myself anyway going into it was like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, on one hand, I could love it, find my new family, find my spark, and continue going to these events for until I turn 18 and get kicked out. Or I can absolutely hate it, only be there the 2 days, and then go home and never have to think about it again. And so I was so happy that I actually went to it because I met so many friends that I'm so close to now. Some of my best friends still. Even people I wasn't friends with then that I'm friends with now, I found out that we went at the same time. So, like, you just get to really see that. So, definitely just at least take the chance. Like, iLead's the perfect event to give it a try with because you're not going to be there the 4 or 5 days like you are at Legislator or university. You're only there for the 2 days. So it's a really good way to at least put your toes in the water and see if that's like something that you want to continue doing, if it's for you. And if you absolutely hate it, that's fine. I've never met a kid who absolutely hated it, so they would definitely be the first. But just at least try it, you know?
No, I appreciate that. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? Let's just jump in and try it. So if you need that encouragement from Emma, take that encouragement from Emma. We're actually we talk about it a lot. That one of the things that gets people out to these events the most is just somebody saying, "Come do it. We're doing it."
Hmm.
So if that needs
Oh,
to
and I
be
was gonna
Emma for you
say,
tonight, take that from Emma.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was gonna say too, like, look at Emma. She's now a state officer. Like, there's
Yep.
so many cool things. Not saying that has to be your path, but there's so many cool things that she
It
got
opens
out of
up
that.
paths. There are
So it
Yes.
paths.
opens up the road for limitless adventures in your future. So
You'll
it's
never
cool to
know.
learn those skills. Yeah, it's
You'll
really
never
cool to
know.
learn those skills and just see, Emma's a prime example of what could potentially happen should you attend. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and you guys got a shout out from Miss Dana Davis
woo, we
in the
love her.
chat as well. The iLeads Exec Board Youth Committee has the most exciting and fun things planned.
We've
So
we've we've converted her to a hardcore iLEAD fan, and I
yes.
love it. I love it.
Um, so yeah, absolutely. Um, so on the other end, we talked about the youth being nervous, but the parents could be potentially nervous as well. So Spencer, talk to us a little bit about what's something that would help you calm your nerves. So if you were sending your kid, like what would something that you could say be like, okay, cool, feel a little bit more comfortable doing this.
Maybe I'm a little biased, but I think Florida 4-H has always done a really good job in making sure youth feel really inclusive and like they belong whenever they come to 4-H events. Something that I personally do with my parents, if I'm not able to attend an event with my youth, is hype up the people that are going to be there. If I had my own child, I would say I trust that person to watch my children. Those are my people. So, really explaining to those parents of what's going to happen, make them feel comfortable with those transitions we talked about, those people that they're going to have eyes on them. And another thing that I don't think parents know, because I get this question a lot, is whether kids are allowed to have their cell phones on them.
Mm.
Um, Youth that have cell phones can communicate with their parents. We just ask that they put them away during workshops and things, but their parents are still going to have direct connection to them. So that would be my piece of advice.
No, absolutely. So here's the big question. Do you trust Ariel, Emma, and myself? Like if you would you be telling people right now, like, yeah, I trust these three people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Y'all are my people.
It's really a trick question. I mean, what are you going to say? No, I don't trust these people. Don't send them here.
no. That Emma Wickham right there.
Yeah,
Not at all.
especially that Emma Wickham. I don't know
Hmm.
about that. um, so yeah, no, I think, and there's a piece too where even if once you sign up and you're still like a kid or adult, like that's still like, man, you know, one of the coolest things that we've done a lot really well with over the past couple of years, and shout out to Lizzie Shirley if she is watching this or will watch this at some point. The hype when you guys even just
Hmm.
pull up, like now it can be overwhelming for some, don't get me wrong, but even those that it's potentially overwhelming for, it's just like in your face, we're excited you're here, you belong here, we were expected here. And I think we've done really well continuing that. So even just as soon as you get, I mean, honestly, even coming down the road, you see it and you're like, oh,
Yes.
okay, cool, I'm meant to be here. I'm supposed to be here. So I think that's a big piece too. So you'll have to sign up and believe us till you see it on that one specifically. But I promise you it's there. So some people may be sitting there and going, cool, I'm in. What's next? And some people may be like, still need some more information before signing up. So, Ariel, where can they find anything related to that? Whether they're jumping in right
Yeah.
now or they still want a little bit more.
So, if you are looking for more information, you are going to head to the Florida 4-H website. So that's florida4h.ifas.ufl.edu. Just Google search Florida 4-H, it'll pop up. And from there, you're going to go to the events tab, go to citizenship and leadership events, and then you're going to click on that iLEAD tab. And that'll give you all of the information on the events. So the who, what, when, where, why, how to register. So just keep in mind that registration is open on 4-H Online. So you can head onto your family profile on 4-H Online, click on your youth's name, go to events, and you may register your youth there if you're ready to commit. If you still have some questions or you need a little bit more information, such as when it is, which this year it is June 5th through the 7th. So we are on a Friday to Sunday schedule. And if you are looking for different information, such as a packing list, an example schedule, where we're going to be, etc., how much it costs, you can find all of that information on the website. You are also welcome to reach out to any of us, and email is best for all of us, but you're more than welcome to reach out to us and ask any questions that you might have. We'd love to help and answer anything that you might not be sure of. But really, that website's going to be your best friend as far as any information that you might need. So I do recommend going on and registering on 4-H Online so you don't forget and you don't miss the deadline, because we don't want you to miss the deadline. But registration does close May 20th. And it'll close on 4-H Online that evening. So just make sure before May 20th, if you are interested, that you get registered.
Yep. I dropped some links in the Facebook chat. So one, the direct link to iLEAD,
Yep,
that
perfect.
web page, and also put the email if you have any questions. You can reach out to your county 4-H professionals. You can reach out to that 4-H events at ifas.ufl.edu email. We will get you the information. And this video will be posted. So if you're joining us now, be like, man, I missed the first 30 minutes of this. This will be posted on that iLEAD website.
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure I do it because I think I lost the day at the Capital One to the internet somewhere. But I'm going to get
Okay.
this one before Facebook deletes it. Emma recorded the last one with me twice, and it still never made it anywhere. So
He
this
only
one's
cut
going to
it
make
out
it on
because I misspoke. I made a joke, it fell flat, so he made me redo the whole thing.
Oh no.
there.
It happens.
So to close this out, I don't want to close out on all the information. So I would love to know. And actually, so before we say that, um, Miss Kaylin Hilton just popped into the Facebook chat as well. There are still Red Cross scholarships available for youth whose families were impacted
Yes.
by Hurricanes Helene and or Milton. So applications are still being accepted, and it's tinyurl.com/4H SES app. And again, if you're like, I don't know what you just said, we can get you that link if you reach out to us.
Totally recommend, if you're in one of those affected areas, to apply to those scholarships. And there's scholarships for more than just iLead, but if you're in
Yep.
an affected area, I cannot recommend enough applying for those scholarships. So it helps alleviate some of the financial burden, and it's a phenomenal opportunity for our youth to be able to facilitate iLead a little bit better. So if you're in one of those areas, or if you're not sure if you're in an area, take a look at that URL.
Yep.
We have youth that apply, and every year I can't be more thankful than what I am for that. So
At
it's
the end of the
awesome.
day, we just want to get you all there. So however we need to
Yeah.
do that.
Give
Um,
us all the
so
iLead interview.
closing us out, wrap us out. Leave us with that one thing that, if nothing else, we can leave with this. I want each of you guys to share one moment, big or small, where you thought, yes, this is why I lead matters.
I would say for me, going back to like the kids coming out of their shells, and then also the skits. The first night was my group. It was so awkward. Nobody was talking to each other. They were very, very much nervous to be there. The second day we were there, they were all yelling, trying to figure out what they were gonna do for the skit, to the point where we got in trouble for being too loud. And then they were able to get up in front of the entirety of iLead and be able to present their skit. So just like, and then going back to like, just do it, like at least give it a try. You'll never know if you hate something until you try it, or if you'll like something until you try it. So I would say definitely just allow yourself to have that opportunity to come out of your shell and to make those connections and meet those friends, because they are the friends that like you're gonna want to stick around with. So just give it a try.
This goes back to what Miss Ariel said a little bit earlier. And I think actually, Emma, you mentioned him as the 2025 watermelon seed spitting champion. But Anthony Barrio from Broward County, I remember again, that was at least I first met him at
I
iLead, and I
know.
think it was one of the first year or two that we were doing iLead on
It
US
was.
campus.
It was a long time ago, and I love it.
And I have an email right now from his mom. Sorry, Yuli, I know I still need to answer that email. But it's like asking, like, Anthony still wants to be a part of this. Like, and
Mhm.
he's on another committee, but just asking and just how much that means to somebody and just seeing somebody start with going to iLEAD. And again, it opens up so many paths. So whether you end up on executive board or not, doesn't matter. But for Anthony in particular, just seeing that growth from year to year like that, whatever the entry point is, there's so many entry points to 4-H. Whatever it is, however we can get you here, however we can keep you in. But knowing that iLEAD can be that, starting at age 11 is pretty cool. And now knowing that we're about to have somebody graduate that was at one of the first two, like that's why it matters to me.
I would say, I don't know, Derby, I gotta bounce off you because that's probably like the most rewarding, but also one of the hardest things to watch is the kids literally love iLead so much that they want to be a part of it. So
Mhm.
it's really cool and very fruitful to have been in it this long and watch it come full circle and have the experience that we have had with our committee members and the youth that have been in iLead and just watching them flourish. So whether it's at a state event that is not related to iLead, having youth be like, oh, hey, I'm so excited to see you. And they have that connection point of, oh my gosh, I remember you. We did all this, leadership skills and all of these activities with you to youth that are passionate enough about the program and what they learned in it that they then in turn want to turn around and give back to the youth that are younger than them. That is like one of the coolest things I swear that I will ever experience in my lifetime. So it's been really fruitful and rewarding to watch it come full circle, especially as we do have some that are getting ready to graduate and, they're not really sure what their path is going to be next. They know they're going out into the workforce, but, hopefully, fingers crossed, we have them back as adult volunteers because it's been a phenomenal ride with them. So it's been really, really cool. It has been.
So for me, before I was helping oversee this event, I had the opportunity just to attend as one of those adults that watched children and help
Spencer
out
liked it
learning
enough.
and
She was like, "Put me on iLEAD. I want to work with it more."
yeah,
So if that speaks to
sign
any, and
me up.
Spencer was like, "Sign me up, please."
But I was really impressed over the years as a 4-H alumni. This event didn't used to look like this, and now we have something that's kind of magical in a sense, where youth are getting the opportunity to experience 4-H in a different way. And I really just enjoy watching them engage in those workshops and make those connections and experience UF potentially for the first time. Um, so that's what's really magical to me. Another thing is on my drive home my first year, one of my youth said, I love iLead. That's my event. And I want to hear
Mm,
more of that. That's my event.
mm, mm. Can't say it better than that. We'll leave it at that. Thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We look forward to hopefully seeing you in iLEAD in June. Bye, guys.